Pooja, thank you so much. We've got Tony Bavota with us now. He's Deputy Fire Chief from Toronto Fire. Great to have you in here, Tony. Thanks for being here today. First responders have to deal with a lot in their jobs. You're trying to save lives. You're seeing people at their worst. You know, they're in absolutely distressing situations. This has to be an issue. Mental health, mental illness must be an issue that you're dealing with on a regular basis.
It is, Nick. And in 2016, there was some legislation that was passed by the province for protecting emergency responders, and there was a number of designated workers that were identified within that legislation, and firefighters fit into that group. So there's sort of two components to the legislation. One was that if firefighters are diagnosed with post-traumatic stress, it's presumed that it was caused by the work that they do.
Automatically? There's sort of no fighting, no legal
No, it's
arguments.
automatically. You know, in the absence of information to the contrary, it's automatic. And so there's a bit of a safety net there for our staff. But the other component of the legislation was that the industry as a whole had to develop prevention plans. And so Toronto Fire Services did that, and we submitted a copy of our plan to the Ministry of Labour last April. And included in that plan are a number of initiatives that we're taking in order to prevent this from happening. In many regards, this is like fires. It makes no sense to fight fires that could be prevented, and it makes no sense to see claims or to see our staff suffer injuries when we can do work to prevent those.
So the staff know that they can come to you or their supervisors and sort of explain what's happening to them, and automatically there's kind of a protocol that falls into place?
Well, there's absolutely a protocol where they can report, but the analogy that I'll give you is that we're trying to set up a system, a wellness system where there's a number of doors. And behind each one of those doors, there's a support mechanism there. So our staff can pick the door that they feel most comfortable with. So an example of that, in 2017, we rolled out Road to Mental Readiness training for a number of our senior staff, leadership training from the rank of acting district chief and above. And you know, that training really is about having, an awareness with staff that there's a number of supports that are available to them within the workplace. But the message also is that for your own well-being, to drown out negative voices, to focus on positive affirmations, to understand that we work in an ambiguous world, and there's not always times where we can bring a solution to a problem. But perhaps most importantly, to have a personal board of directors, folks that they can reach out to and talk to.
I like that, personal board of directors. That's nice. Yeah. So let's talk about firefighters, first responders. You're considered to be tough guys and girls. You know, you're the people saving lives. You sort of go into, houses that may be burning to try to, see if you can help people out. There's a toughness, there's a grit that's there. What is the uptake like, and is there a fear of stigma? Because part of Bell Let's Talk to You, of course, is overcoming that stigma. Do you feel that, or do you see that the stigma is perhaps getting better amongst first responders in terms of admitting that they're dealing with something?
We have a lot of work to do, Nick, and the training brings in an awareness, and the intent of the training is really to break down the stigma as well. And so, in an ideal world, we'll know that we've arrived at reducing the stigma when we can report an occupational stress injury and treat it the same way that we can for, a sprained wrist or a broken ankle. But we're not there yet.
Well, that's why Bell Let's Talk Day is so important, and it sounds like everything you're doing is quite important towards the Toronto Fire as well. Tony Bavota, thanks for being in today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.
Pooja, again, the conversation continues all day. Continue to use that hashtag, everybody. Hashtag Bell Let's Talk. Back to you.